Claude Max starts at $100 a month, and that is the entry price, not the ceiling. The same Claude Code, driven by GLM 5.3 instead, starts at $18. That is not the same product at a discount. $18 buys the smallest tier Z.ai cells, and it is metered far more tightly than the $100 plan. Every Claude plan meters you on a rolling 5-hour window, and the paid ones stack a weekly cap on top of it. Claude Code comes with every paid plan, and it drinks from the same pool as your chat window. So the agent and the conversation spend one allowance, and you find that out on a Thursday afternoon with the work half done. GLM 5.3 is Z.ai's new flagship, built for complex software engineering and long-horizon agent work. GPU shipped it on August 14, 2026, through its GLM Coding Plan. GPU's own claim about it is blunt: the strongest open-weights coding system currently available. It is not a new pre-train. GLM 5.3 runs on the GLM 5.2 base model, with every gain coming out of post-training. Underneath it is a 730 billion parameter mixture of experts, with about 70 billion active per token. The interesting part is not the model card. It is the door you have to walk through to reach it. For $18 a month, you get the GLM Coding Plan, with Pro and Max tiers stacked above it. That one subscription drives Claude Code, Cline, and OpenCode. The tools stay yours. You are only changing what answers them. The same plan is accepted by more than 20 coding agents, Claude Code and OpenClaw among them. I bought the entry tier, pointed my own Claude Code at it, and worked a normal week. No second bill arrived, and there was no per-token meter to watch. What you have at the end is a working agent, a fixed monthly number, and an allowance counted in credits rather than dollars. Lite gives you 10,000 credits a week. Pro takes that to 60,000. Max tops out at 140,000, and that is the entire allowance, not a soft target you can overrun. There is no file to fetch here, and no folder on your disk that holds this model. It runs on machines you do not own, in a building you will never see, and it answers only while the subscription is current. That is a different relationship with a tool than OpenWeight's promise, and it is worth naming before the credits start counting. The weights are not downloadable, and GPU says they only ship once the security reviews are done. The public API had not opened either. The documentation just says, "coming soon." So the subscription is not the cheap way in, it is the only way in. Input tokens are billed with a credit multiplier of 6.9. Cached input drops to 1.7, which is why a long session costs less than it looks like it should. Output is billed at 24, so what drains the plan is not what you send, it is what the model writes back. The weekly number is not the ceiling you hit first, the 5-hour window is. Heavy use burns through the weekly limit inside days. One user reported paying about €200 a month on a plan big enough to stop hitting that wall. Every hour outside peak bills at half the standard points, weekends included. Peak is 1400 to 1800, Singapore time, Monday to Friday, and nothing else counts as peak, which means the discount is the default, and the surcharge is a narrow slice of the working week. One tester put the effective peak limits at 60 to 70% of what the same tier gives off-peak, which leaves one question worth answering in plain units. How many prompts does an allowance actually buy? On Lite, one 5-hour window is about 80 prompts. Pro takes that to about 400, which the reviewer still calls tight for heavy agent use. Max is about 1,600, and an agent working a real repository spends prompts far faster than a person does. Run the quota out inside a supported tool and nothing falls through to your account balance. You simply wait for the next 5-hour refresh, and the subscription is non-refundable, even if you never spend a credit of it. Those are the terms, and whether they are worth $18 depends entirely on what the thing does once it is wired in. On macOS and Linux, the whole install is one curl line that pipes the installer straight into your shell. Driving GLM through Claude Code wants Node.js 18 or newer underneath, and nothing else. What you get is an agentic assistant that reads your codebase and takes the routine work, bugs, repairs, Git. And the same agent runs in the terminal, in IDE extensions, in a desktop app, and on the web. None of that is Z.ai's doing, yet. The agent is Anthropic's, and it will happily talk to somebody else's model. The fastest way to point it at the coding plan is a single npx command that runs Z.ai's coding helper. The helper installs the tool, loads your plan into it, and sets up MCP servers from on-screen guidance. It is the least interesting way to do this, and the one most likely to work first time. But it helps to know what it writes, because one of those settings will be wrong for you. The setting that matters is the Anthropic base URL, pointed at Z.ai's Anthropic protocol endpoint in the settings env block. The script writes that into the Claude settings file, so you never open it yourself. It also sets the request timeout variable to an enormous ceiling, because long agent turns die on the default. Then check the model slots, because by default, Claude Code's Opus slot is mapped to GLM 4.7. Every tier had GLM 5.3 from launch day, so it is worth making sure the flagship is what actually answers you. That is the whole configuration on the two operating systems where it is easy. Z.ai's own one-liner is a curl fetch of their environment script, followed by a bash run of it. It sets every variable for you and leaves Claude Code talking to Z.ai instead of Anthropic. And here is the part the launch posts skip. That script runs on macOS and Linux only, with no Windows support at all. On Windows, you install Git for Windows first, and then wire the environment by hand. It is not hard, it is just not one command, and that difference matters when one command is what you were sold. The agent itself, at least, installs cleanly there. On Windows, Claude Code is one line. Winget install anthropic.claudecode, and the terminal CLI, the VS Code extension, and the JetBrains plugin all accept a third-party provider. So whichever surface you already live in, the same environment variables carry over to it, which leaves the model's own settings, and one of them cannot be turned off. GLM 5.3 always runs with reasoning enabled at one of three effort levels: low, high, or max. Z.ai recommends max effort for anything as involved as coding. If your app used to disable thinking entirely, it must switch the thinking type to enabled and set the reasoning effort to low before moving to the GLM 5.3 model ID, or the request fails. There is no cheap mode to fall back to, which is worth remembering now that you know what output costs in credits. On Z.ai's own codebench, GLM 5.3 at max effort scores 34.5% against GLM 5.2's 23.4%. Claude Opus 4.8 scores 29.5% on that same bench, and Claude Fable 5 reaches 39.5% at max effort, still ahead of GLM 5.3. Codebench is Z.ai's private benchmark, and nobody outside the company can reproduce a single one of those percentages. Every GLM 5.3 figure on that chart is vendor reported, with no independent lab rerunning them under one harness, which is the honest reading of a win on your own exam. It may well be true, and you have no way to check it. At high effort, GLM 5.3 closes a codebench task in around 50,000 output tokens. Claude Opus 4.8 spends about 120,000 on the same task. Push GLM to max effort and it burns roughly 75,000. The accuracy costs tokens, and tokens are what your credits are made of. The leaderboard that put GLM 5.3 first holds 28 tasks in total. Commenters called it saturated, and the tasks inside it trivial. A first place is a first place, and this one fits on a single screen. Benchmarks are the part of this you can argue about forever. The report worth reading is somebody spending a week on hardware that fights back, with a job that either finishes or does not. There is one of those, and it is the most convincing thing anybody has published about this model. 4 models were put on the same tablet, and GLM 5.3 was the one that finished the root exploit in a day. The author rates it above both Kimi K3 and GLM 5.2 on that work. That run was on the $80 tier of the coding plan, not the entry one. On the one index run from outside Z.ai, GLM 5.3 at max reasoning scores 59.5. Kimi K3 scores 59.7, marginally above it, and Claude Opus 5 tops that table at 61.5, which makes all 3 broadly the same class of model. On CTF-style tasks, it runs vulnerability analysis, exploit scripting, and privilege escalation on its own. An open-source shield initiative keeps the defensive side open while gating exactly the capabilities that could enable high-risk misuse, which is a polite way of saying the best thing it does is the thing its makers are least comfortable shipping. The capability that makes it worth the money is the same capability that keeps it behind a login. That is not a Z.ai problem. It is the shape of the whole field right now. It takes no image input at all, where Claude Opus 5 does. And testers say GLM and Kimi often miss obvious failure points that Claude and Codex catch straight away. So it is not a straight swap. It is a swap with 2 known holes in it. At max reasoning, one benchmark task costs $0.68 on GLM 5.3. The same task on Claude Opus 5 at high reasoning costs $1.52. Kimi K3 sits between them at $0.84. So on API rates, GLM is the cheap one, and it is not close. The weights are still not out. The promise is an MIT license within about 2 weeks of launch, once the safety audits finish. When they land, providers like Together AI and Fireworks AI can serve the model, and the subscription stops being the only door. Until that happens, everything here rests on a service you rent by the month. Anthropic bills Claude Opus 5 output at $25 per million tokens. Claude Sonnet 5 is $10 per million output tokens. And Claude Fable 5 is $50 per million. That is the range $18 a month is being measured against. The GLM subscription gives you barely more usage than paying API rates, and it is not subsidized the way Claude and ChatGPT plans are. So at subscription prices, Claude is argued to be the better value, and GLM wins at API rates. That is the verdict, and it is narrower than either side's headline. On Windows, the agent installs with one PowerShell line that fetches the installer and runs it. Point it at the coding plan, and GLM 5.3 answers through Z.Code, Claude Code, or OpenCode. Tonight's version of this is small. Take 1 month at $18, give it one real task, and watch the credit counter while it works. If the 5-hour window never bites you, you have found $100 a month you are not using. And if it does bite, you learned that for the price of 1 month instead of a year.